Nice and conservative today, Nico.
Always for you, sir.
There's a lot of talk about that yesterday.
Was there?
Yeah. Velvers. Your jumper.
My jumper? That's gone now. How's that hair going? Oh, yeah.
His wedding anniversary today.
Is it really? Congratulations.
No, no.
How many?
No.
You forgotten?
Well, she hasn't seen me yet.
Oh, right. Oh, you'd forgotten?
Got it today. Only 37 years.
Tesco's?
I've got a white book.
Bunch of flowers, Tesco's.
Actually, not far off. I've got to get a jigsaw. Gosh. No, carry on, boys.
I feel for you. I'm feeling your pain.
Bring her in the old pool. Eddie, good morning.
Good morning.
You're hoping for 3 league wins in a row after seemingly putting that poor run behind you. What's changed?
I don't think anything necessarily has changed. I think we won the game against Brighton, and I think that was a key game for us. It was a battling performance. It was a game full of heart and an understanding from the players of our situation. And I think that, I know there's an FA Cup game in between, but I think that lifted us. And then Aston Villa was a much improved overall performance where we showed our quality and how we can play. Yeah, and now we've got to go and prove it again, and I think that's the key thing. Now we've got to back it up a third time.
Do you notice a visible lift, of confidence around the place after a win like that?
Maybe a slight lift. Yeah, I've always said I'd be lying on the previous occasions if I'd said the mood around the training ground day today and our disappointing run was bad, because I didn't think it was. I thought the players trained well. I thought they were very focused. So now I don't see a huge change. Maybe a little bit more spring in the step that winning brings you, and only winning can do that. But the lads seem in a very good place. I think they seem very focused on the challenge ahead. We know there's a long way to go. We haven't achieved anything yet. We still have to win a lot more games.
In your final 13 league games, you faced the current top 9. Do you get a sense that players are up for that type of challenge?
I think they understand every Premier League game is very difficult. I don't think it matters whether you're playing the top 9, bottom 9. They're all very, very difficult games. In some respects this season, we seem to have lifted ourselves against the top teams. I hope that is reflected in those games. But you have to take every game with the same importance, the same difficulty, knowing that if you bring your best selves, we can win any game.
Is David Brooks in contention?
No, David Brooks won't play in this game. He's still some way away.
How far roughly?
Very difficult for me to comment. I don't actually know. He is back in England. He was running yesterday on grass for the first time, I think. So that gives you an idea that he's still got some way to go.
Joshua King as well. How is he?
Josh King and Jack Stacey have trained this week, so they're both getting close. We'll have to make decisions on whether we involve them or not, but pleased with their progress.
After what happened with the Manchester United bid, how have you found Joshua King's mindset, his approach, his focus?
All very good. Yeah, all very good. That was a difficult couple of days for him, but a huge compliment and a huge moment for him, to have Manchester United come in and express an interest in him. But he's very focused on our current position and this club. He knows that we're in a relegation fight. It's no time for him to focus on himself. He knows that. Very much a team player. So he's looking forward to being fit and contributing to our battle.
When you think of the Ryan Fraser situation as well earlier in the season, is there anything you can learn as a manager from that when it comes to King and the Manchester United bid, just in terms of keeping them focused and obviously disappointment there, as you say?
I think I think all players understand how football works and the transfer windows, and there's such a lot for players to take in these days, especially at this level with the media so interested in every moment and every detail. But the players are here, the window is shut, and they're very focused, as I said, on the team, on our situation. There can be no thought of individual situations when you're in the position that we're in. We need everyone pulling in the same direction for the benefit of the team, and if we're able to do that, then obviously we reassess everything in the summer.
The club has given a lifetime ban to an individual following that person being found guilty of chanting racist abuse, what message do you think that sends out?
I think from behalf of the football club, a very, very strong message. I think we're very clear on our opinion towards racism, of discrimination of any kind, and I think it's the right thing to do.
The Premier League clubs met yesterday, and a part of that meeting was to talk about the abuse and discrimination and how much it was a real problem and how everyone was against it. I don't know, from your point of view, do you notice that? Is that something that's become a lot more visible in the stands during matches, like during the week on social media, things like that?
Well, I'm not on social media, so that's a difficult one for me. And on match days, I'm so focused on the game. I've got tunnel vision. I don't really notice anything from the outside, chants, shouts from behind me. It's very much the football. So I'd be lying if I said I noticed anything. It's all about the football for me, and that's all I focus on.
At that same meeting, we decided the transfer window was going to revert to the end of August and 1st of September in the case of this summer. How do you feel about that?
I think there's pros and cons to both. The powers that be have obviously changed the window. I think it's slightly different. It does change the dynamic. I think if you don't start the season well, you have a chance to do something to your squad, change the dynamic. Players that aren't in your team come the first day of the season possibly may be keen to try and change their situation. So I think as a manager, when you're looking at both aspects and all aspects of the team that you're managing, it's going to give you different problems, but different positives as well. And I think the big thing why it's changed has been obviously to align ourselves with Europe, and that dynamic was proving a problem for Premier League clubs.
After the game this weekend, you've got the 12 days winter break. What are the plans for it, both personally and collectively?
As a club, we're not taking the team away. As a group, as a collective, we're letting the players choose what they do, choose where they go. And I think with that in mind, for us, it was more for the international players that they're constantly travelling around the world. They're constantly not getting a mental refresh. So if we were to take them away as a squad, we feel that would maybe damage their chances to refresh themselves and give them the break that they need. So we'll leave it to their own decision. For me personally, I have nothing planned. With 3 kids and a very, very young youngest one, we'll wait and see what I do.
And will that just be good to sort of refresh all round for the first time, obviously, this has happened?
I think the winter break's a great idea mainly for the international players. I think it's brilliant for them. As I say, I feel for them sometimes with their schedules, not just during the season, but in the summers as well. So they don't really get a chance to unwind, and I think this is a really good opportunity for them to do that. And I think for everybody connected with it, after a hectic Christmas period, you always got to remember the staff and the hours that they put in at football clubs. It's nice for them to get a little break as well.
Just a final one, some reports of unrest in Barcelona. We're asking all managers today whether you'd like to see Lionel Messi in the Premier League at some point.
Well, that's a left field one. Unbelievable player. We'd certainly be interested if he's available.
Wouldn't be cheap.
No, he wouldn't be cheap. No, on a serious note, I think I've always said that I love the best managers, the best players to come to the Premier League. But I know his history with Barcelona is incredible, and what he's achieved there has been remarkable, and they're a huge football club.
Does it feel like, I know it's a lot of speculation at the moment, but if a player like him did come to the Premier League, would it be nice to see him test himself in a different league?
That's up for him to decide. Yeah, it's up for him to decide. I'd love to see the best players, as I said earlier, in the Premier League, because it adds so much to the competition. The harder, the stronger the games, the more you learn. I've always found that historically when some of the best players in the world have come here and then they've left. But yeah, I crave the competition, so let's wait and see. Thank you.
Eddie, I think 26 points from 25 games is the same as when you went on to record your best ever Premier League finish. What does that say about the group, with all the talk of crisis from outside, but also maybe the injuries and everything you've had to deal with?
Yeah, it's amazing how you can slant things for positive or negative, depends on, and that's a positive question. We have to finish well. We have to get to that position again, to get to those points that we got that season. We had a very strong end. It is possible, but it's going to be difficult. And I'd say all along we're in a relegation battle now, and I think we'll probably be in a relegation battle between now and the end of the season. But we have been in that position every year in the Premier League. There's no season where we've been above that threat all the way through, right to the end. So no real change on previous seasons, just maybe people's perspectives of the fight we're in is different this year because we've been in the relegation zone. So it's going to be down to us to get consistent results to try and get ourselves away from trouble.
You mentioned Jack and Joshua potentially in contention. There's no Jefferson. Any other team news?
That's pretty much it. I think Junior Stanislas is continuing his return to fitness. So he was on the bench last week, which was a great boost for us. And with Kingy close and Jack Stacey close, the squad has a stronger feel and a stronger look to it now. Obviously, we hope that remains. And we've got a group of players then behind those other players that have returned that are a bit further back. But hopefully after the break that we're having, they'll be that little bit closer.
Yeah, for that big push at the end, do you look at the squad being in a really potentially healthy shape sort of end of this month for Burnley, Chelsea? Could you have a proper squad again?
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll have that look about us for Burnley. Yeah, I'm not sure about the games after. I don't want to put David Brooks is still unknown how when he's going to be back. Arnold Danjuma we're going to have to be very careful with. Chris Mepham has been given the time that he's been given. That's 3 months. I think I'm missing a couple more, but yeah. So I'm not entirely sure. But with Nathan Ake coming back, Adam Smith, Josh King, Jack Stacey, at least the training group, we're a lot stronger, and that's been noticeable in training for me, and probably makes you realise how thin on the ground of players we were during that Christmas period.
Last week we spoke about Ryan Fraser's comments being hard on himself about his performances the last 4 months, blaming himself. Have injuries affected players like him in that it's taken some competition away? You seem to have had a lack of competition on the wings especially.
I've maintained that all the way through. Part of the problem with injuries isn't so much, it's obviously a blow to lose certain players, but it takes away the genuine competition for places. If you're picking 11 players that have no one genuinely breathing down their neck in terms of, if I play badly I could be out of the team, that's not healthy for the group. And I think bar centre midfield, I think that's probably been the same in most positions, not all positions but in most, and that's been one of my biggest challenges.
You were Sheffield United's first Premier League opponents this time round. What have you made of them since that day? How big a challenge will it be this weekend?
Yeah, it'll be a very, very difficult game for us this weekend. I think they've done an outstanding job this season. The manager, Chris Wilder, staff, players, incredible job. To get promoted is hard enough, then to stabilise yourself in the Premier League is incredibly difficult, as we found. But they've been superb this season. Their style of football, the way they play, their collective attitude has been excellent to see from the outside.
They seem a very intelligent, adaptable team. Is that right? You see them switching sort of during games and changing?
Yeah, I think they are. I think when we played here, they started their traditional way, and then when they were chasing the game late, I think they went to a diamond in midfield and played with a back four. And I think that adaptability, I would say, to our team, to our squad, being adaptable in games, being able to play different systems is a real strength. It's not a negative, it's a strength. And that day, that contributed to them coming back into the game, and I'm sure they've done that in other games this season. And that's credit to everybody there.
Given Aaron Ramsdale's previous association with them, he seems a very talkative kind of guy anyway. Has he been extra chatty with his defenders this week? While he wants a clean sheet every week, is this one a little bit more special to him?
I haven't seen a difference in him. He's always chatty. If that's the way you put it, I'll back it up. But he, as I said many times before here, he's that character. And I think you've seen his character on the pitch. So the way that he played against Aston Villa, the way that he played against Brighton, I think he's been really, really good the last few weeks for us. He's really growing in stature all the time. It's great to see. And you remember his journey here. He was signed relatively quietly I think it was a January transfer window. But he's really developed. Credit to the goalkeeper coaches here who've worked really hard with him, and the scouting team for identifying his talent. I'm really pleased to see him in the position that he's in now.
And you're wearing the heads up badge. How much do you support that campaign?
I'm a big believer in mental health and looking after yourself, and so I'm a big advocate of anything that raises mental health awareness, that helps people who need help. I think it's really, really important that if people are in trouble or are having difficulties in their life, they do talk to people. And I think this campaign raises that profile, then I support it fully.
You said expect to be in a relegation battle until the end of the season. That's obviously understandable. Is it crucially important after a couple of wins when there be a sense of relief that the players keep that in mind and keep pushing? Because I suppose it's only human nature, isn't it? To sort of, if the pressure, the adrenaline builds a bit, if it drops again, that's natural.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the problems we faced in our Premier League life. So for 5 years, I don't think we've been as consistent as we want to be. We've maybe had 1-2 big results and then probably done what you've said. The emotional feeling that those games have, and then we haven't been able to really sustain that for a long period of time. So that's one of the challenges we face in this game, is making sure that we're still fighting and scrapping for our lives. Nothing's changed. We've just got ourselves out maybe the media spotlight in terms of being in the relegation zone, but we're still very much in a relegation battle, and I think we need to be very aware of that going into the match.
But given what I was saying about where you are and where you ended in, you had your best Premier League season, that does prove, doesn't it, that a couple of results can push you quite quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at it and you go back-to-back wins has moved us up the table, and another back-to-back wins would move us again, and suddenly the outlook can be very different. As you say, we're in charge of that, we're in control of that. We just need to go into the next game is the only important game. We need to go into this game with the same mindset that we did against Brighton and Aston Villa. No different. Be absolutely hungry for every ball, and commit ourselves to everything that we do. And hopefully, with our quality, the rest will take care of itself.
And with Ryan, obviously, everyone knows about his situation. He's talked candidly about that. Is that a good thing, do you think? Would you be pleased to see players just be? I mean, obviously, I'm sure they're honest behind the scenes, but if they're talking candidly publicly, is that almost a good way for them to put pressure on themselves to give their best, whatever scenario personally they find themselves?
I think it's totally down to the individual how they want to speak. I'd say as long as they say nothing that harms the team, if they're speaking about themselves and their situation, they have their right to be as honest as they want to be. But as I say, as long as they're not damaging the team or the club that they play for, I've got no issue with it.
And just where Ryan's concerned, obviously, with a decent couple of games, you can see hopefully he can just sort of finish off the season in the style to which he's.
Yeah, I think if he plays like he did against Aston Villa and Brighton, because I think he committed to both games like that between now and the end of the season, we've got a potential match winner in the team. A very important player for us, and I've been very, very pleased with him of late.
Okay, cameras off, please.